Yeah, it's past time. We're past time. Let's get started. So please turn to page 158. 158, please. So except for when we had a family service, for the last few weeks from before Pesach, we've started the service with a new nigun, which is actually a Micha Mocha. And so before we later on in the service sing Micha Mocha, I just wanted to go over how this actually works with the words. So our first phrase is Micha Mocha Ba'elim Adonai, and we're singing Micha Mocha 3 times. So Micha Mocha, Micha Mocha, Micha Mocha Ba'elim Adonai. So if you join me, because you know the tune already, Micha Mocha, Micha Mocha, Micha Mocha Ba'elim Adonai. And you can guess how the next line goes. We're going 3 times Mika Mocha, Mika Mocha, Mika Mocha, Neda Kodesh. Exactly the same melody. So let's do that together. Mika Mocha, Mika Mocha, Mika Mocha, Neda Kodesh. Okay, you're doing very well. Can I tell you, you're so much better than the Shabbat morning crowd. That took them a long time to get that.
Half of them are the Shabbat morning crowd.
No, they're not. No, they're not. There's a lot of people here who are not here on Shabbat morning. Now we're having the B section of the melody for the next 2 verses. So feel free to join me again, because you do know the tune. Malchutecha ra'u vanecha bokei hayam lefnei Moshe u'Miriam. So let's do that again. Malchutecha ra'u vanecha bokei hayam lefnei Moshe u'Miriam. 3rd time for luck. Malchutecha ra'u vanecha bokei hayam lefnei Moshe u'Miriam. And the last 2 lines are again to the melody of the A section. So the same melody as the Micha Mocha and the Mika Mocha. So join me. Zeli anu ve'amru Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed. Do that just one more time and that's it. Zeli anu ve'amru Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed. Lovely. So we'll sing that later when we get to that in the service. And now please turn to page 126. Yedit Nefesh. Yedit nefesh afarachaman, Yedit nefesh afarachaman, Meshoravtecha el ratzonecha, Meshoravtecha ya la 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 el ratzonecha. La 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 emul hadarecha Yedit nefesh afarachaman ידית נפש אף הרחמן משוך אהבתך אל רצונך משוך אהבתך יא לי 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 אל רצונך.
Friends, as we have entered into the sanctuary in this Shabbat, let us take a moment to consider why we are here tonight. What has brought us into this holy space, into this Kahila Kedusha, into this sanctuary? Was it the busyness of the week? Was it the ups and downs, the turmoils? Was it the highs that we may have experienced? Was it the outstretched arm that was reached towards us? Or was it the arm we reached towards others? Whatever it was that brought us into the sanctuary, we affirm tonight with Shabbat to bring peace into our lives, into our homes, into our families, into our neshamot, into our souls, to bring a sense of shalem, shalom, wholeness, because that is what shalom is about. And so as we bring shalom into our lives and into the sanctuary, we do so with Shirul Adonai on page 131.
I don't know if you saw that earlier, but Noah has made me a shaker. Shirul Adonai, Shirul Shir Chadash, Shirul Adonai, Kol Haaretz, Shirul Adonai, Shirul Shir Chadash, Shirul Adonai, Kol Haaretz, Shirul Adonai, Baruch Shemo, Basru miyom leyom Yeshuato, Shirul Adonai, Baruch Shemo, Basru miyom leyom Yeshuato, Shirul Adonai, Shirul Shir Chadash, Shirul Adonai, Kol Haaretz, Shirul Adonai, Shirul Shir Chadash, Shirul Adonai, Kol Haaretz, Shirul Adonai, Baruch Shemo, Basru miyom leyom Yeshuato, Shirul Adonai, Baruch Shemo, Basru miyom leyom Yeshuato.
I should get the shakers for everybody, shouldn't I?
Yes, get Noah to make some more.
No, I meant the ones for
Oh, the ones from out there, yes, yes.
There's no time for Noah to make any more.
No, not for tonight, I thought for future nights.
Zamrul Adonai on page 134, which begins the third line down in the Hebrew. Zamrul Adonai, sing praise to the Eternal.
Zamrul Adonai bechino, bechino v'kol zemra, b'chatzot rot v'kol shofar, היו לפני המלך אדוני, ירם הים ומלואו, תבל ויושבי בה, נהרות ימחר חוף, יחד ערם ירננו, לפני אדוני קיבה לשפוט הארץ, ישפוט תבל בצדק, וימים במישרים, ירם הים ומלואו, תבל ויושבי בה, נהרות ימחר חוף, יחד ירם ירננו.
And let us turn forward to page 135. and 38 to the mystical song of from Svat, from Shlomo Halevi, page 138.
La 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 Harudi, la 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 likrat kala, la 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 b'nei Shabbat, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. I was going to do another melody, but never mind. Never mind. We're doing this one now.
You can always switch, Gina.
That's
you can
fine.
switch to the melody you want to do.
We're doing this one. Lecha dodi lekrat kala, yalala, 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 pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi lekrat kala, yalala, 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 pnei Shabbat nekabela. Shama bezacho bedibur echad, kishmiyanu elam yuchad. Adonai echad, ushmo echad, l'shemo tiferet v'litila. Lecha dodi likrat kala, yalala, 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 pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, yalala, 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 pnei Shabbat nekabela. Likrat Shabbat lechu v'necha, ki makor habracha. Merosh mekedem nesocha, sof ma'aseh b'machashavat techila. Lecha dodi likrat kala, yalala, 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 pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, yalala, 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 pnei Shabbat nekabela. Hitoreri, hitoreri, ki va'orer kumi uri, 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 shiadaberi, kevod Adonai, alayech nigla. Lecha dodi likrat kala, yalala, 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 pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, yalala, 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 pnei Shabbat nekabela. Boi v'shalom ateret bala, gam besimcha ובצהלה, תוך אמוני עם סגולה, בואי חלה, בואי חלה. lecha dodi likrat kala, yalala, 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 pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, yalala, 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 pnei Shabbat nekabela.
As we have Welcome Shabbat with Lecha Dodi, I'd like to invite our young adults. So if you consider yourself a young adult, come on, Rick, to light our Shabbat candles. Come on up. You can come up as a group, all together. All of you together. Come on, don't be shy. Don't be shy. Come on up together to light our Shabbat candles. Be here, be seen, or be square, as the saying used to go back in the 19... Yeah, no, JJ. JJ, no, go back. Go back to where you came from.
Next week we'll do all the adults.
Sean, you see, it's not just you. Our candle lighting is on page 118. Phil, you're right there. You're standing by yourself. I'm not sure why. So I'll pick on you. What's with this row?
I know, they followed me.
Phil, can you do this one as well first?
Yeah, we light the candle of hope for the hope of all those who are suffering in our hostages in Gaza and innocence.
Baruch Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher k'rishanu mitzvotav mitzivanu, shel Shabbat.
Amen. Shabbat Shalom, everybody.
Shabbat
Let's
Shalom.
take a moment and turn to one another, wishing each other a Shabbat Shalom. And if you have COVID or recently have COVID, please don't kiss anybody.
Shabbat Shalom.
Yeah, no, she came home today. Thank you. She stayed an extra night because Dad wasn't well. Of course, if everybody turns around and welcomes those on our live streaming, Shabbat Shalom, everybody. You can wave at everybody on live streaming. Shabbat Shalom, Emily. I'd also like to do a welcome to Sean. Sean is new tonight. Hi, Sean. Has everybody met Sean? Sean, where are you from? Sean is local. We won't hold that against him. So Sean, welcome. We're glad to have you with us tonight. Sarah, we want to continue with services. Shalom Aleichem, page 142.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Bachem LaShalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Bachuni leShalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Tzedkom LaShalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Please rise for the Chatzi Kaddish on the next page, 144. יתגדל ויתקדש מרבה, ועלמא תברח חירותי וימלך מלכותי, וחייך חודש יום אחד, וחיי לכל בית ישראל. הגנה, ובזמן חריף, בינו אמן. יהי שמך
The blessing that brings about the evening on page 149, one of the alternate readings rather than the traditional Hebrew reading on page 148. So on page 149. Praise to you, eternal, our God, from whom the evening flows. Your wisdom sets the way on which time and seasons glide. Your breath guides the sail of the stars. Creator of the tide of time and light, you guide the current of day into night as heaven spans to infinity. You set its course for eternity. Praise are you, eternal, our God, from whom the evening flows. Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'ma'arib Aravim.
Avat olam, Beit Yisrael, Amcha avta, Torah u'mitzvot, Hukim u'mishpatim, Otanu limadeta, Al kain Adonai Eloheinu b'shachbeinu, ufkumeinu nasir b'chukecha, v'nismach b'divrei toratacha, ובמצוותיך לעולם ועד, כי הם חיינו ואורך ימינו, ובהם נגי יומם ולילה, נגי יומם ולילה, ואהבת רע אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים. ברוך אתה אדוני, אוהב עמו ישראל, אוהב עמו ישראל. שמע ישראל, אדוני אלוהינו, אדוני אחד. ברוך שם כבוד מלכותו לעולם ועד.
We may be seated.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבבך, ושננתם לבניך ודיברת בם, בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים ללכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם בארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
And so at the beginning of the service, Gina shared the different melody of the Mi Chamocha. Each generation has a tradition of Mi Chamocha, of what it means to be a free people. For some it is through song, for some it is through marching, for some, as the text suggests, it's through holding hands, passing through the wilderness, passing through a Mitzrayim, a narrow place, as the translation of Mitzrayim is. And so as we sing Mi Chamocha to this somewhat new, somewhat not so new, and some have admitted to me that even though we've been singing the nigun of Mi Chamocha for many weeks, it was completely new, Gina, completely new. New is the old new, or the new old, or what is the shul called in, is it in Warsaw? No old shul? The new old shul, is it? Sorry? Everything old is new, but the shul, the name of the shul is the Neu Alt, the Alt Neu. Alt Neu, it's Alt Neu. The Alt Neu shul.
Old new.
The old new shul. And so in 10 years, 15, 20, whatever it may be, maybe even 50 years, Rick, you'll sit here. Your son will be president. Don't laugh too hard. You're thinking which son, right? You never know. We'll be singing this, and then somebody will come up and want to change it, and they'll go, but we want the traditional melody. And then somebody will go, it'll be the Ari Posner.
That's right.
And then you, Gina, will be there with your walking
Stick, yes.
or your Zimmer frame. We'll go, I remember when. Judah, you know that feeling.
Mi chamocha, mi chamocha, mi chamocha, ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha, mi kamocha, Neda b'kodesh malchutecha ra'u vanecha bokei hayam lefnei Moshe u'Miriam zeli
ונאמר, כי פדה אדוני את יעקב וגאלו מיד חזק ממנו. ברוך אתה אדוני, גאל Yisrael. And the prayer of a shelter of peace that should bestow upon us all, not only here in this Kehillah, this community, but across the region and across the world, that we should all know a shelter of peace.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom v'hamidenu malkeinu l'chaim. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom v'hamidenu malkeinu l'chaim.
ופרוס עלינו סוכת שלומך, ותקננו בעת הטובה מלפניך, והושיענו למען שמך. והגן בעדנו, והסר מעלינו אויב דבר וחרב ורע ויגון, והרחק ממנו ועוון ופשע. ברוך אתה אדוני, הפורס סוכת שלום עלינו, ועל כל עמו ישראל, ועל ירושלים. Veshamru on page 162.
Veshamru b'nei Yisrael את השבת, לעשות את השבת, לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת, לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל, ביני ובין בני ישראל, אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת, לדורותם ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים, כי ששת ימים, עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת, לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת, לדורותם ברית עולם. And on the topic of traditional melodies, we started singing that particular Vishamru 18 months ago. And now it's tradition, isn't it? That's what we do on a Friday night. Right, we now move into the Amidah. We start on page 164, and as is our custom on a Friday evening, we chant together the first three blessings, and after that, please follow with the prayers on the page or the prayers in your heart, and we come together on page 178 with Shalom Rav, page 164. Adonai sefotai tiftach ufi yagi tehillatcha. Adonai sefotai tiftach ufi yagi tehillatcha. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu Elohei Avraham Elohei Yitzchak Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, carry on with the prayers of our heart or the prayers on the page and come together on page 178. And please feel free to sit at any time if you want to. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam.
Page
Shalom
178.
Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki atahu melech Adon lechol hashalom. Ki atahu melech Adon lechol hashalom. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. V'tov beinecha levarech et Amcha Yisrael b'chol עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. שלום רב על ישראל עמך תשים לעולם. שלום רב על ישראל עמך תשים לעולם. תשים לעולם. תשים לעולם.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
I can remember pretty much forever and a day, as long as I've been involved in Jewish community, that one of the questions I was always asked is, are you an Australian Jew or a Jewish Australian? And it's something that I have never grappled with. So I actually could push back with Rudy Rockman, both at lunch yesterday. I didn't push back last night at his talk. I didn't have to push back because it was one of the few things I actually agreed with in his hour-and-a-half long presentation, and I had the privilege of spending, I was invited to, with the rabbis and all the young adults of the different movements. Orges and B'nai, unfortunately, there's no Netzer in Perth at the moment. I know Lynette said proper leadership, but B'nai and Habo and then some of the other leadership, but not the full Perth Jewish community leadership. For example, the president of the Jewish Community Council of WA wasn't there. So it wasn't the grand leadership. And so the question is, are you, and I want to put this out there, for some of you who were there last night, I'm interested to hear your opinion. To answer this question first before we get into the second part of the question where you know where I'm going. Are you an Australian Jew? And if you come from Israel, Jeffrey, I know.
Want me to sharpen it for you? I'm asked, are you an Israeli Jew or a Jewish Israeli? For me, the answer is crystal clear.
Okay, we'll get there. Hang on. Hold on to your answer. Hold on to your answer. I want to get to your, I want to get the Australian milieu answer first. I'd love to hear your answer, and then I will share with you what Rudy said. I'll share with you what I think, of course. And it may not be the exact same thing that Rudy thinks, but that's okay, because why wouldn't I disagree with another Jew? Are you an Australian Jew? Are you? And I want to continue the conversation potentially tomorrow too, maybe with a couple of other nuances. Are you a Jewish Australian? Are you an Australian Jew? Or are you neither? Are you neither Australian?
How do you approach the question if you're a half Jew? Because I still get told being internal Jewish sometimes isn't really being.
No, it's not about how other people view you. It's how you view yourself. It's how you view yourself, not how other people view you. I don't care about how other people view you. It's how you view yourself. That's what's important. That's always what's important. It's always what's important about how you view yourself certainly when it comes to who is a Jew. Now, for us in the progressive movement, if your mother's a Jew, you're a Jew. If your father's a Jew, you're a Jew. Jew belong. You Jew belong. Jew belong, Jew belong, Jew belong. So you are, okay. So now that we've got that out the way, are you an Australian Jew or are you a Jewish Australian? Sarah, I can't see you hiding behind Robbie, maybe purposefully. Your head down. You're the only person I can't see. It doesn't matter. Robbie, can you shift a little to your left, maybe 3 centimeters, 3 centimeters. Or just cock your head to the left. No, okay, never mind. Margaret, you look like you want to go say something, you just closed your mouth. Okay, you're all quiet. You're not stunned mullets. Fishing term. Is that an Australian fishing term? Stunned mullet. British. It's certainly not American, right, Jeffrey? No. Certainly not.
Are you ever accused of dual loyalty?
Me?
Yes.
No, because people say, where are you from? Not because they want to send me back to where I've come from. Well, I don't know what they were thinking.
No, I didn't mean where you were born. I meant Australian versus being Jewish. Where is your principal loyalty when push comes to shove?
Well, the question that Rudy put to the audience last night is and he was coming certainly from a particular framework. He's got multiple nationalities, French, Miami, Tunisian, Moroccan, Israeli. He's a world Jew. Let's put it that way. Israeli. So the question when we say, are you an Australian Jew? Because that's usually the question, are you a Jewish Australian? It's never, as a Jew, how do you identify, or what is your nationality, or what is your ethnicity, or where is your sporting allegiance? Right? Because let me guarantee you, if the Weagles were playing the Dockers and there were more Jews in one team versus the other, I guarantee you'd go for the team with the more Jews than the other. Right? Yeah, I guarantee. Some of you are shaking. Some of you go for the winning team. For some of you. But across the world, most Jews would tend to go for a Jewish/Israeli team over a random other team that they had no affiliation with. And sometimes even, and certainly to the audience he was speaking to last night, it felt. Now granted, I was probably the closest person to him. I was front row, center, 2 spaces in. The person to my exact left was Jeremy Mao. I could touch him. So, if it was Israel against Ukraine, Israel against Australia, in cricket, by the way, did you know that there's a new Israel rugby team? Did you know that? It's gay. They've won in their division, and nobody knew how to play rugby. But that's beside the point. The question became that we are neither. And then the answer was, we are neither Australian, JJ. No, and that was to some people the point. We're neither Australian, we are visitors here. We are neither Jews, for those of us who are Jewish in the congregation. But for those of us who are Jewish and identify as Jewish, Jeffrey, I don't know if you've heard this argument or not, but because we come from the land, because some Jews happen to come from the land of Judea, he posits that all Jews, by definition, are Israelis. All Jews are Israelis. Why? Because he's going biblical. We are not the Bnei Yehuda. We are not the children of Judah. Because we could be the Bnei Issachar or Zebulun, the children of Zebulun or Issachar or Dan or Naphtali or any of the other 12 tribes, 11 tribes if you consider Judah. But we are, as the Torah specifies, we are Bnei Yisrael. We are the children of Israel. We are, hang on a sec, we are Am Yisrael. We are the people of Israel. Therefore, or as I like to say, ergo, because it makes me sound more educated, not that I am, ergo, we are Israelis. Because we also have connection to the land, an ethnic connection to the land, because there's always been an Israelite Judean present in the land of Israel. Thoughts, comments? Judith, Yehudit.
I haven't done any research, but have in the past. And the word Jew and Judean have 2 different origins. And so to say that in the
It's a semantic problem because even in the first half of 1948, there was still a debate among the Zionist political leaders, what would the state be called? The final decision was the state of Israel, but that
Why?
was not a foregone conclusion. There were other options, and there's no going to go into them now. And if the state had been called by another name, would we be having this discussion? Say today, Israel, of course, that's straight from the Torah. And you could go on with Israel. But if the name of the country were not Israel, would this even be under discussion?
But the question is, that's not under discussion, Jeffrey. This is what's under discussion now. This is what's under discussion now, not what could have been, shoulda, coulda, shoulda, woulda. Right? I'm playing devils. You may not agree with the approach. Right? So Jew has nothing to do with Judaism. We learned that in our history class, right? Because Judaism could be a Greek term. That's a Greek term. But we are not B'nai Judea. But does that take away the fact that we could be B'nai Yisrael and we are Yisraelim? We are Israelis, Yisraelim. Food for thought. No. I love it.
It seems so obvious. Of course not. Again, if the name had been different, you wouldn't even be having the conversation.
Which name?
The name of the state of Israel.
No, but he's saying forget contemporary Israel.
Right.
We are still B'nai Yisrael.
Absolutely.
We are still Yisraelim.
Well,
Ah,
the word Yisraelim is never used
in the Bible
in the Bible or the subsequent liturgy
or anything else. And there is the flaw in his argument. And that was last night. It was a confluence of different ideas he's trying to insect, but he had some people.
You raise a significant and important question. You have the possibility of having multiple identities.
Right.
How do you view yourself? Which is it, if any? That's
If any. And that was the point that I want to raise out of his ultimate question. He said, wherever you go, that reminds me of a song I wrote. Wherever you go, there's always someone Jewish. You're never alone if you say you were Jew. Never heard that? Anyway, I'll play it for you one day. No, but the ultimate question, forget the whole, are you Israeli or not? Because I agree with Jeffrey. It was an argument that, there was a lot that he said, I was like,
And if you're Israeli, do you pay income tax to the government? Do you serve in the military for 3 years when you're 18? And then do you
exactly, from Australia?
go on and on.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and he was trying to, there was other arguments we'll talk about tomorrow that was, but it was really interesting because the one thing that he did do, and he did do for people of our community, and he did do for other members of the Perth Jewish community, and this is why I think it was worth every dollar of the dollar that we sponsored, is it was empowering for so many people to hear a positive view and Sarah, I don't know if you agree with me, not just a positive view, but you just felt at times, not maybe with everything he said, and Gina, you were there, just this uplifting feeling within the hall, not with everything he said, but it was like Jewish empowerment.
And you shlichim aren't doing a good enough job. This is exactly what the state
This
of
is
Israel
the shlichim to do, exactly.
Precisely that.
Exactly. Jewish empowerment as well as with... Were you there, Phil? No, you weren't there. Okay, so can you keep your commentary to yourself? You weren't there. Thank you. Sarah's agreeing with me. It's not often, but she's agreeing with me. But the one thing is that I do agree. The one thing is that I do is that when people say to me, "Are you Australian Jew or you're a Jewish Australian?" My passport is Australian. I grew up in South Africa. I moved here when I was 12. I left here ultimately when I was 21 and didn't return to Australia until I was 35. That was to Melbourne, and then I came to Perth 2 years ago. Or give or take. No, actually I was a bit younger, 32. So let's take it, every 10 years of my life, I've moved continents and then back to Australia. So if people say, "Where are you from?" or "How do you identify?" I'm not South African, I'm not Australian, I'm not American, even though to somebody, if I'm in America, I sound Australian. If I'm in Australia, I sound like American. If I'm in South Africa, I sound like either American or Australian, depending on who you talk to. Sometimes I sound British or from Boston. Park your car in the car park. Park your car in the parking lot. That's Boston. Yeah, you gotta live in Boston. Have you lived in Boston? Then you'll know what I talk about.
But if there's one thing you don't have, it's an American accent.
No, I don't. No, because I've been back 12 years. I park my car in the parking lot. Still don't. Is that wherever I've been, first and foremost, I've answered the question, I'm not anything other than a Jew. And hopefully they haven't said bless you. I'm a Jew, first and foremost. My identity is as a Jew. He wanted to suggest that I am a guest in Australia, that I have friendly neighbours in Australia because of what happened in Germany, what happened in Spain, going back to the Spanish Inquisition, etc., etc. Maybe, maybe not, given what's going on in America with anti-Semitism in America, which is in a different state to what it is here in Australia. I don't know enough. But my answer is, Kim, are you a Jewish Australian? Are you an Australian Jew? Is, I am a Jew. Oh, I was born in South Africa. I did my high school and university in Australia, and I studied overseas. I returned to Australia to work as a rabbi in Melbourne, and I've now returned to Perth where my parents are. Wherever I lay my hats is my home. But I'm a Jew. To criticize whether or not that's the right answer or the wrong answer, first and foremost, I'm a Jew. Because nobody can take that away from me. My grandparents survived the Holocaust. Some of my great uncles and aunts did not. But nobody can take away the fact that I'm a Jew, but somebody can always take away my citizenship. As safe as what I feel here in Australia, as safe as what I felt in Melbourne, and as safe as what I feel here in Perth, I don't take it for granted. But nobody can ever take away the fact that I am a Jew. I'm not an Israeli. Because how do you define an Israeli? Are you Mizrahi? Are you Ashkenazi? Are you Sephardi? Define Israeli. Even the Israelis can't define Israeli. But I am a Jew. And I will take anybody on who tries to challenge me on that notion, because nobody has a right to challenge me on that. Shabbat Shalom. That went a bit longer, I'm sorry. Page 586. Aleinu and Jeffrey, you get that honor. You had the loudest voice. Correct. Nachon.
Something's gone wrong with YouTube.
No, not necessarily. The screensaver might have just come on.
Oh, okay.
Maybe they didn't like what I said, so they shut themselves down.
עלינו ששפר אדון הכל, לתת כלולה יוצא בראשית, שהוא נוציא שמיים ויוצא את הארץ, ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושרינת עוזו בכוכי מרומים, הוא אלוהינו אין עוד, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא, ונאמר ואמר אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, היום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
We take a moment to think of family and friends who have died in the last week, names shared with us from our greater Jewish community here in Perth. And we think of Amos Macklin and Joyce Marek, and as well as Pamela Levitt, who is the mother of Shelley Levitt and the grandmother of Ashley and Amy Harris. And Amy Harris was one of the Netze Madrichim who led our Netze weekends just a couple of months ago. Her family's originally from Perth. For the Shloshim, we remember Max Traub, Chief Inspector Arnon Zamora, Ken Rose, brother of Ian and Stephen and dear friend of so many of us here in this community, Mervyn Jackson, Leon Medalia, father of Dan, Linda, and Ashley, Sergeant Uri Bar Or, Staff Sergeant Ido Adpel, and Staff Sergeant Amir Galilov. The Yartsites anniversaries of whose death fall on the Shabbat we remember: David Tadeova, grandfather of George Sheldon; Frida Aufrichtig Arkwright, mother-in-law of Judith Arkwright; Leo Freudenberg, father of Shirley Stanwyck; Wolf Karutkin, father-in-law of Denise Henderson. And this Shabbat is also the yahrzeit of Ken Arkwright. And Judith, we stand with you. As we remember Ken. Charles Book, great-grandfather of Clive Cass; Douglas Stanley Gillon, father of Gwen Carver; Rudy Wise, father of Ron Wise and Evelyn Ferrier; Eric Wise, father of Michael Wise, and father-in-law of Catherine Teal and grandfather of Aldwin Wise; and Witty Becker, sister-in-law of Lorraine Sivan. Judith, are you going to share something tomorrow about Ken, or?
Would I be permitted to say a couple of words tonight?
Of course.
Are you sure this time?
Yes, always. Always. So please come on up. Please. come up to the microphone, just because there might be people on. There are people online.
Just a few words. How amazing it is that my beautiful mother-in-law and my dearly loved Ken died in the same month. Ken's mother on the 24th of June, 1989, and Ken passed away on the 26th of June, 2022. Ken's mother was the most wonderful, caring, loving, and generous person any daughter-in-law could wish for. Hitler took her son and husband away from her when he came to power, leaving her to fend for herself during the Holocaust in Breslau, Germany, while Ken and his father were incarcerated in labor camps and concentration camps. She escaped the Nazis by sleeping in cellars with the rats, digging trenches, and was nearly shot twice. When the Second World War was over, Ken came to Perth and brought his parents, who had survived, over to Perth as well. My darling Ken, as you all know, was an exceptional human being with a brilliant mind, optimism for life, caring, loving, and devoted husband to me, and adored grandfather to his grandchildren and great-grandchildren. I think of him and miss him every day. Thank you for listening.
Do you want to stay here for Kaddish?
Thank you very much. I'll just go. Thank you, but I didn't say a few words. Thank you.
And so we share the words of the Kaddish as we remember all those who have lost their lives in the war in Gaza, and who've lost their lives through the senseless acts of terror. Zecher Tzadik Livracha, may their memories be for a blessing. Page 598. Yikadal v'yikadash shemei Rabbah, v'yamad yivrach yiritei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayachon v'yomechon, v'v'chayei d'chol Beit Yisrael, v'agala v'zman kariv v'meru.
Amen.
Yehei shemei Rabbah mevarach le'olam elamei almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei d'kodashah.
Brechu.
Le'elam min kol berchata v'shirata, tush berchata v'nechamata, damiran bi'alma v'yimaru.
Amen.
Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimru.
Amen.
Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu yaseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimru.
Amen.
Hamakom yinachem echem b'toch sha'ah, havlei Tzion b'Yerushalayim. May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn and comfort to all who are bereaved in Zion and Jerusalem and around the world. And let us say, Amen. Just a couple of announcements. No TDRS tomorrow morning. School holidays. There is, after main services tomorrow at 10:30, there is Coffee Club at Flora on 10th, corner Beaufort and 10th Avenue, if anybody would like to go along. I believe, Sarah, you've brought the age limit down. Limit. Limit. It was like 85. It doesn't matter. Monday is Mahjong, 11 o'clock. My history class continues. Anybody's welcome to just drop in for a session. While they do build upon each other, you can just come for one session, 11 o'clock. Israeli dancing, 5:15 with Margaret. It's amazing, Israeli dancing. Or Jewish dancing. Israeli. Torah tea and text on Thursday, and of course Dove and Dine and Dance on Friday night. Bring a vegetarian dish to share. The co-founder of the Christian grassroots movement, Never Again Is Now, will be speaking on the 10th of July. Please have a look at that and consider going. Also, please consider coming to Noshes. There's only 1 or 2 seats left, so please book now for Noshes on Saturday, the 20th of July. If there's a seat with your name on it, just waiting for you. Please look out also for the UIA Women's event about the Nova Film Festival, the Nova Music event. It's not a fundraiser, but so please consider going to that film that they've made about the Nova event, music dance festival. I hope to go to that myself, but it isn't a fundraiser, but meaning they're not going to try to solicit money out of you from the UIA. Try to go to it. I think it's going to be a very, very heart-wrenching movie. See Ma Chadash for other things that are coming up, but I think that's actually most of them. Our final song, Gina, tell us about it.
Im Tirzu, by Debbie Friedman, on page 644. If you will it, it's no dream to be a free people in our land of Zion and Jerusalem. Im Tirzu, ein so agada, ein so agada, liyatam chafshi be'atzenu, be'eretz Zion, Yerushalayim tirzu, ein so agada, ein so agada, liyatam chafshi be'atzenu, be'eretz Zion, Yerushalayim.
Please join us for Kiddush. Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Shabbat Shalom.